Bonjour, film lovers! Did you know that you can subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher Radio? We also have a website, realnerdspodcast.com, where you can find cool articles and other ways to listen to the podcast. You can also follow us on social, Facebook at Real Nerds Podcast, and Twitter and Instagram at Real Nerds. You can also call us at 720-6nerds5. We will listen to it, we will play it, and we will probably commentate on it. Also email us at realnerds@gmail.com. Anyway, enjoy the episode.
This is Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Fan Expo, maybe? I am Ryan. With me is Brad.
Hey.
Zach.
Fan Expo. I miss Pop Culture Con.
And Corinne.
Howdy.
Every week on Real Nerds Podcast, we see a new movie and we podcast our experience of the world. This week, we saw the epic showdown of Godzilla v. Kong.
Hey. Versus Kong. Come on.
I'm being hip. Doy.
No, you don't.
I gotta say, I was just gonna say, I watched the movie the day it came out, and I kind of forgot that was our movie of the week. That movie left such a small impression on my brain. I guess
Corinne,
I'll get into why. I've been busy with other things today, better things.
Okay.
Are we done? Fuck.
Please continue, Ryan.
Huh?
Please continue, Ryan.
Thank you, Brad.
Take charge of this thing.
That's right. Every week on Real Nerds... Oh, I already said that part. So you didn't fuck me up. We'll tell you if you should see the film or not, play the trailer, and then spoil the film. We also talk about movies that are coming out on Blu-ray, movies we've been watching, movie news. We did this thing that Corinne had us sign up for, which was Movie Madness 2021, where we pick our favorite Disney films, and then we pit our own Disney films against each other to make it through the bracket, which isn't in the spirit
Each
of
of us had our own division. That way, everybody had a movie in the semifinals.
So I was going against myself, so I really didn't care until I got to the semifinals with Brad, with him and I going head to head with Ratatouille. And why I wanted our movies to always go against each other is because if you're following me and Brad throughout the day, we were making fun of each other, calling each other assholes, wanting our movie to win.
I saw some very clever uses of Pinocchio gifs in the middle of this argument.
That's right.
Spreading lies about the movie's content.
Sabotaging the Twitter post. It was a great time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why we go against each other every round. Anywho, so there's like 10 minutes left in the voting, and on Facebook it was tied 50-50, and on Twitter I think I was the only one who voted for Pinocchio, and Brad had like 5 or 6. So I went into the police department. I said, hey, everybody, bust out your Facebook page and vote for Pinocchio. And so I won in the last 5 minutes because I forced everybody in the police department to vote.
Wait, right, Ryan. You enacted like a Brooklyn Nine-Nine plot in the middle of this movie madness.
Yeah. So it backfired, though, because when the finals came around, people that helped me get to the finals voted for fucking Beauty and the Beast.
Damn straight.
And then I kept on, like, pleading with my wife to vote, and she never voted. I said, can you just do this one thing for me? And she said, we've been together for 12 years, and this is the one thing you want me to do for you is vote for Pinocchio? I said, yes. And she didn't even fucking do it. Gosh.
Ryan, she's saving it for when you'll actually need it.
That's a pretty huge card to pull. I wouldn't waste it on this.
Yeah.
No, I don't need her. I don't need her for anything else. I just want bragging rights.
Well, you can wait till next March. And hopefully you win then.
Screw March, just do April Madness. It's all about horror movies. Get started on it, Ryan.
Done.
We are
gathering that shit.
We are
when you give me your
gathered here
list,
today.
I'll have like my number 1 against Zach's number 4, so that we can like yell at each other the whole time.
Oh, okay.
That's not. See, if we'd have done that, then everybody who would have gone up against Zach would have won. Because
look, I knew I wasn't going to make any headway because I picked the best movies. So
I don't know. The Jungle Book actually scored really high.
Well, yeah, that one.
And that was his number 3.
That's my number 3. Yes,
so,
of course, because I ranked these correctly.
Went against your number 2. What was your number 2, Corinne?
What was my number? Oh, Coco.
Yeah, Jungle Book would have totally have won. I'm just saying.
No, it wouldn't have.
Yeah,
Coco totally would have won.
No.
Yeah, it might be tough. Maybe tough.
Here's the thing: is the Jungle Book is really sentimental. A lot of people like. The same thing with like Robin Hood. Critically, it's not as well received as most other Disney films. But if you talk to a lot of people, they love Robin Hood. They love the Jungle Book.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
I'm surprised The Great Mouse Detective didn't do better.
Yeah, but I attribute that to people not understanding what good Sherlock Holmes homages are. But
that's I don't think I wouldn't call The Great Mouse Detective like a Disney classic at all.
It is to me, Ryan. It is,
and that's fine.
That's one of the better Dark Age movies for sure.
Sure, but it's also in the same period with Oliver and Company, and
yeah, those are a little bit more up people's alleys in terms of hip and cool,
yeah.
And then
I picked The Great Mouse Detective over Oliver and Company any day of the week.
Well, no, I'm saying they're from that same era where they're forgettable. Really, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but
what? I wouldn't say The Great Mouse Detective is forgettable. It has one of the best Disney villains of all time.
It isn't. Well, it isn't, Corinne, but in the grand scheme of pop culture and the history,
Corinne, you don't count because you're a Disney fanatic. You don't count.
Yeah,
you ask normal people. Like if you walk up to a lady who worked for me, Danielle, if you walk up to her and say, "Hey, would you rather watch The Great Mouse Detective or The Jungle Book?" The Jungle Book's going to win every time.
Because it's been more popularized through Disney's marketing strategy.
Exactly, too, because if you go, I have Disney's greatest hits, and I think there's 3 or 4 Jungle Book songs on there.
There's one from Great Mouse Detective.
One Mouse Detective song.
Well, because Great Mouse Detective isn't a fucking musical, Ryan.
Oh, easy, Corinne. Jesus fucking Christ.
It's got one song number and that's it.
Listen,
I know. I'm just saying, but Zach's right. They don't market it. When's the last time you saw anything for The Great Mouse Detective? Even their Blu-ray for it's like second rate.
Yeah, it's. They give
Disney's
more
problem, not mine.
They've even given more attention to my top 2, and that's only because of posterity, because it is part of the original like big chunk that Disney himself worked on.
No, I agree.
And also, Ichabod and Mr. Toad technically has a popular song in it, but it's the one. It's the Headless Horseman song. That's about it.
Yeah, and I think same thing with that film. That film didn't really even get recognition until I don't know. Its Blu-ray's not even that old.
Well, yeah, I think Disney's Halloween treat really showcased the Ichabod or the Ichabod Crane segment a ton in the late 80s, early 90s. Like that's how I got exposed to it. I didn't even know it was packaged with Mr. Toad like when I was a kid until I started looking up Disney history. And Fun and Fancy Free has some memorable songs, but they are not marketed.
But Fun and Fancy Free is too niche. Like,
yeah,
it's like if I put the Three Caballeros on there, I love that movie, but no one's going to ever vote for it.
Yeah, no, I knew that going in when I selected it, but I was just like, I'm speaking from my heart here. These are the ones that I enjoy the most,
and that's all you have to do.
Exactly. Look, I get it. Not everybody's going to enjoy the strange story of ventriloquist dummies riffing on Jack and the Beanstalk. Like nobody's going to get it except for me. It's fine.
I remember watching that Jack and the Beanstalk short when I was a kid. That's the only part of Fun and Fancy Free I've ever seen.
But you probably haven't seen it narrated by Bergen and McCarthy. You've seen it narrated by Ludwig.
I don't know. I could find the VHS for you if you want.
Yeah, if it's the Fun and Fancy Free VHS, then you saw it there. As I'm getting older too, I realize that it is definitely the best Bergen and McCarthy film ever because everything else is loaded with terrible, problematic imagery. But I rest my case. Fun and fancy free, greatest Disney movie ever made. Bam, argument over. Anyway,
I will say that I was surprised of how beloved Ratatouille is. Like, I love Ratatouille, but it's pretty well loved.
It is. It is. Patton Oswalt, that's what Patton Oswalt is mostly known for, I would have to argue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we know him as a stand-up and an all-around legend, but most people around younger than us are going to be like, oh, Ratatouille. Like,
I will say Ratatouille is like, what, 10-something years old or whatever, but it's a movie that's really held up. I feel like it's only gotten better with age, like fine wine.
Yeah. Also, thanks for making me feel old, Corinne.
Yeah, initially, critics were like, gross. A movie about rats, making food. Audiences won't like that. And we showed them.
And as at Disney World, they're opening up a whole new Ratatouille ride.
See? People love that movie.
In Epcot in the French neighborhood. And the ride is you ride around on little Remy's. And it's that scene where he's running through the kitchen. So like you go through the kitchen as like on Remy.
Is it like one of those railless rides, like the one we saw for that Mickey ride video?
Yeah, so it's the same technology that Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railway is.
Yeah, okay. That sounds like fun.
Which is the best ride I've ever been on, by the way.
We get it, Ryan. You got to go to Disney World. We get it.
Well, no, what's stupid is it's in front of the Chinese Grauman Theater. And and they had like handprints there. And I found like George Burns, Clark Gable. I didn't see Cary Grant, but I saw Sally Struthers. So that's where Disney was at in the 80s when that park came out.
Ryan, you have to understand. The world was under Burns mania in the early to mid 80s. Like it was a phenomenon that will never happen again. We're in the Grant-assance right now. There's a podcast series about Cary Grant. There's your article series on Cary Grant. People are re-releasing Cary Grant movies. You win.
I know. That's what I'm trying to say.
Meanwhile, George Burns' legacy is going, he played God a couple times. Okay, cool. Meanwhile, there's a richer history. You know what? He played Willie Clark. Oh, no, not Willie Clark. He played Al Lewis. God damn. He played Al Lewis, and he won an Oscar for it, and he's great.
Anyway, congratulations to Beauty and the Beast, the winner of Movie Madness 2021.
Not to be confused with the Beauty and the Beast, where Ian McKellen wants to change back into a candle.
I will say, when I rewatched it last week, it's still a great movie, Beauty and the Beast, and it looks great on 4K. And in Disney World, the actor who was playing Gaston was pretty great. He was walking around riding a horse, and I remember Kel and I were in front of our restaurant having lunch. And at Disney World, they don't have parades anymore. They just do they have parades, but it's just not long ones. It's each like float or something has a theme. So we were sitting there, and I heard the opening chords for the song Gaston, and I look up, and this like totally ripped dude is riding a horse, and the table that was next to Kellen and I, because we were like right on the street, or I guess walkway, I don't know what you'd call it in Disney World, but we were right there, and there's a table full of girls, women, were next to us, and the dude walked by. He's like, "Hey, have you seen my bicep or my tricep? They are quite large." Yes, that guy is committed. And it was pretty great.
Were they each dressed in French garb from the late 19th century, swooning?
It's fun.
I actually had an idea, Ryan, for a parade that I would want Disney to do, but they'll never do it because it's almost impossible. You need to do an insane day at some point. I don't know, maybe April Fool's Day or whatever. And what you do is you have somebody who can really embrace Mr. Toad, and then find a talking horse, and then have them ride. Or it's not a parade. It's literally just a mad chase by the Disney park police trying to catch Mr. Toad.
I'm down.
that if the day that happens, that's the day that I stop bitching about Disney. I'm like, nope, they did the impossible here. They took that ride where you go into hell and they made it a reality.
Like the day I saw Indiana Jones running across my college campus.
Yes.
That was a great day.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I think you're referring to Crystal Skull.
Nope. Some guy dressed up like Indiana Jones was just running across campus, and I think there were like people chasing him. I can't remember if they were dressed up or something, but
that's brilliant.
Was he yelling, "Jock, start the plane"?
No.
That'd even be better.
Physics teacher dressed up as Indiana Jones in high school.
Oh yeah, you were a good Indy.
No, not our physics teacher.
Yeah. No, you would be a good Indy though, Brad.
Would I?
Yeah, you can get the stubble right. You know. You don't like snakes.
I like snakes. I mean, I wouldn't like have one as a pet, but you know.
You think things belong in a museum?
You have a long lost girlfriend who's a bartender somewhere in Nepal. I mean, it's just.
I do.
You were so drunk you don't remember that part.
You had a now questionable today sidekick with a Yankees baseball cap, and
that's not questionable today.
You have a long lost son who will one day take over your mantle, probably.
And then he will go on to fight robots in 3 movies, and then
no. What will happen is I have a long lost son who will take over his mantle, and he'll reach down to pick up the hat, and Brad will snatch it and be like, "Not yet, son."
But what you have to do to differentiate is then you push him down. And just go, how dare you try?
Love it. Anywho, I wonder what's happening in the world of movies.
It's real news. So sad news for Mortal Kombat fans. You're going to have to wait a week. So, yeah.
No.
I guess it's not a flawless victory.
Looks like audience loses. April 16th is the new release date for theaters and HBO Max.
Well, I mean, it's actually okay. When Warner Brothers was shocked on how much money Godzilla versus Kong made, they're like, maybe we should let this movie breathe a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah,
I'm going to cannibalize yourself.
I can't claim to be among the $48 million worth that went to the theater because I ended up having to do this on HBO Max this week for time. But I'm going again to the theater because we'll talk about it later. But
yeah,
long story short, yes, the new one will now be released on April 16th for Mortal Kombat. So you have a little bit
23rd. It's released on April 23rd.
Oh, yeah, April 23rd. Sorry, I'm looking at the original release date. Yeah, sorry. April 23rd, 2021. You will get your Mortal Kombat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to some trailers because we got 2 pretty big trailers. First off, we got a trailer for Spiral, the Saw reboot thing bobber from Chris Rock, and with Darren Lynn Bousman returning to the director's chair. Seems like we've got a little bit more plot. I mean, Brad, I don't think
it doesn't sound like it's a reboot. It actually sounds like it's a sequel.
That's what I'm thinking too. And what I'm curious is, are they going to stick to that it's a copycat, or are they going to renege on it like they did with Jigsaw, where they're just like, oh, it's not
sure. Jigsaw. I don't know. When you watch the trailer, though, do you have a hard time with Chris Rock in that role? I don't know. I'm sure he's fine, and I have to see the whole movie. But in like little clips, I go, man, I don't know if Chris Rock is right for horror.
It's just like the Heath Ledger thing all over again. Just wait till you actually get to see the movie. Then judge it.
I know.
Right, Corinne? Like Chaos Walking? No,
I'll tell you, Ryan, I think he might be fine. Here's my issue. That new Saw voice, I was not impressed. I'm sure it will make more sense when I see the movie.
Yeah. it almost seems like
moment.
the movie. I have to see the movie.
Yeah,
because I'm sure because Chris Rock is a great actor. I mean, he's great in everything. It's just it seems odd, and I think I have to be put in the world if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to get used to this version of Saw now. So
yeah, that and just having like snippets of Chris Rock saying this isn't a game or whatever, you know. And I go, man, I don't know. But I mean, I'll see it because I want to.
Yep, and I'm curious to see what Samuel L. Jackson does with this material.
I'm tired of these motherfucking puppets in this motherfucking warehouse.
I want to see him strangle the puppet, Ryan. Smack it around. But again, yeah, my biggest
death trap again.
Yes, I deserve to die, and I hope I die in this trap. Yeah, no, I'm intrigued. I'm down. If they find a way to carry on the thematic realm of Saw and bring something different to it, and I like Darren Lynn Bousman as a director, so I'm curious to see how he returns to this world.
The box art for the 4K Saw is awesome.
I haven't. Huh? I didn't see that yet. Ooh,
it's like kind of like it's like textured paint of Billy the doll.
Oh, is it just the first Saw? Or are they doing the others?
It's just the first one.
Ooh, we need the series. Anywho, though, we got the second biggest Well, we actually let's talk about a quick teaser back to the horror subject for a minute. We got a little snippet of Chucky, the TV show that's coming to Sci-Fi. Ryan, did you take a look at this?
I have not seen it.
We get a little bit of snippet of the animatronic Chucky being created, and it's swiping a knife, and then you hear Brad Dourif yell, "I always come back!" And so yeah, we're getting some Chucky. It's in production now, so we're not going to be getting it for a little while, but that's something to satiate you over for all you Chucky fans out there.
The last Chucky movie was great.
Yes, it was. Well, and to be clear, we're talking the Chucky movie, not the Child's Play remake.
Yeah, if I said Child's Play, I'd be. The Child's Play movie was all right.
It's fine. It's its own thing. But
yeah.
This is the Chucky series that's being headed by Don Mancini, who's the original creator, and frankly is the guy who understands the humor and the temor of what Child's Play is supposed to be. Anyway, though, let's talk about the big trailer. I really wish we had Henry Jarvis here on this because you got to slam and welcome yourself to the new Space Jam. Because we got a trailer for Space Jam: A New Legacy. Ryan, does everything happen in this trailer, or is it just me stroking out?
No, actually, I'm not a big fan of the song that was in the trailer, and I'm not sold on LeBron James. But there's a moment in it where Daffy Duck gets shot, and his beak turns around, and it has holes in it, and I go, "All right, I'm on board."
There's a line in the trailer where LeBron says something about like Will Smith. And I was like, is he just trying to channel like a Will Smith impression? Because it felt like he became Will Smith when he said that line. And then I just couldn't unhear it the rest of the trailer.
This plot has me stranged out. Because the first one is, as silly as the first one is, the plot's pretty simple. Monsters try to put the Looney Tunes in slavery. They challenge them to a basketball game. They get bigger. Well, I guess the first one's pretty convoluted too. This one, though, looks like it takes it up to an nth degree. And it looks like, according to the trailer, if you look at the trailer and you look at it frame by frame, you see that the entire Warner Brothers animation stock is making some form of appearance in here. We've got 3D Yogi Bear running around. So some Hanna-Barbera is going to be popping up. It's also been confirmed that I guess Zendaya is voicing Lola Bunny, which is interesting. I actually liked the segment where they animated LeBron James into the 2D world. I thought that was pretty cool. So it kind of solves the issue of.
It looks great.
Yeah, it looks astonishingly good. Like clearly Warner Brothers threw a good chunk of money into here. I am curious though how this plays up against what we're getting with that Looney Tunes cartoon series, because I'm almost wondering if Space Jam 2 is being made solely for that Space Jam market. Because I don't know what the Space Jam market consists of. Does it consist of people who actually like the Looney Tunes, or do they just really love that movie.
I don't
Probably
know.
a little bit of both.
I mean, LeBron James is a big movie fan,
that is
and
true.
so he's producing the movie. So maybe he's just a fan of Space Jam. I don't know.
Yeah, and Ryan Coogler's producing it too, and Malcolm D. Lee's directing it. Like, I think it's going to be a fun ass ride. I actually feel like the trailer gives me the indication that there's a lot more goodwill and intention here. Whereas when you watch the first one, as wonderful as it can be from a certain point of view, it is ultimately one big giant commercial.
Isn't everything these days though?
But
Wasn't
like,
the Transformers movies just commercials for toys?
it was a commercial for toys and lower intelligence, Corinne. It was trying to sell us on lower intelligence. No, I'm down for it. And also I haven't looked at the cast list, Ryan, but it sounds like I don't think these are the same people who were doing the voices of the characters in Space Jam 1, so maybe they've got the new crew on board.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know the aliens or monsters or whatever that the Looney Tunes are playing are at least based on actual NBA and WNBA players. I don't know if they voice them. I would guess they do, but yeah.
I think they do,
that.
Corinne. Damian Lillard talks about it, like how he was modeled and voiced it. So I think they're voicing them too.
Yeah, maybe it's like the monsters don't talk initially, but then once, presumably the Looney Tunes win and the spell or whatever is broken, then maybe they're like, oh, hey, thanks for like setting us free or something.
Or something, yeah.
My biggest question in all of this is, will the original Monstars make an appearance?
I wonder if they'll be referenced at all. If like the Looney Tunes will say, oh my gosh, this is just like the shit we had to do 30 years ago with the Monstars.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got the cast list here. So it's actually Jeff Bergman, Ryan, doing Bugs. And he's been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
Because he's been with animation for years. And then
I think he's isn't he the official voice of Bugs now?
I
think he is.
I guess so, possibly. Eric Bauza, who does Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Tweety, Pepe Le Pew, and Marvin the Martian on the Looney Tunes cartoons, is playing Daffy.
On TMNT.
What?
And Splinter on TMNT.
Yeah, but we're not talking about your turtles right now, Brad. We're talking
about
Brad,
that's really interesting that he's Splinter.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah.
And we are talking about right now because I brought it up.
Okay, well then there you go. Do you have some turtle news for us while you're at it?
I do. Later. Continue.
Okay, cool. But yeah, no. So they're bringing some people in from that new iteration of it, and Gabriel Iglesias is playing Speedy Gonzalez. Okay, cool.
That's a good fit.
Yeah, interesting. And Jim Cummings is playing the Tasmanian Devil. So sweet. But yeah. So anyway, Henry needs to respond or break down the trailer for us at some point. So I have it on good authority. He is coming to Denver very soon. So maybe we can get him in studio / Skype or whatever and break this down for us. Anyway, moving on to the news, the more broader news. Knives Out 2 and 3 are going to Netflix with Ryan Johnson and Daniel Craig both returning. So the original company that produced the film and basically backed everything up, and then gave it to Lionsgate for distribution, made a deal with Netflix. So now the deal valued at $400 million. The only specifications in the deal were making sure that Daniel Craig was committed to them. And they own the licenses to the original movie, and it means they could make a sequel deal like this. So when we get the Knives Out sequels, we're getting them via Netflix, guys. So that sounds like cool. I'm down for that.
Yeah,
as long as we're getting them. That's all. It's kind of all I care about. And then I have some. I don't know if I'm actually kind of sad about this. I'm not going to lie. So Jar Jar Binks won't be on the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and kind of the reason I'm upset about that is because Ahmed Best has been given shit for the last 20-something years now, and it feels like he's owed some form of restitution for having to endure that nonsense. Because even if you don't like the character, it's no excuse to tell somebody to go kill themselves. So,
I don't know why people were expecting Jar Jar Binks to be in the Kenobi series, though.
I mean, he could technically be a part of it. He could show remorse for the fact that he's the one who put Chancellor Palpatine into emergency powers.
Right, but Kenobi's supposed to be in hiding. So, and of course, Jar Jar just attracts attention everywhere he goes because he's an idiot. So
maybe in his regret, Corinne, he has learned to be less obvious. I don't know. I don't know. It seems like that it might have been an interesting way to like find a way to redeem that character or something. I don't know. Of course, that character is loaded with a lot of problems from front to back, but
you know how you redeem the character is the Predator is also part of Disney now. And so in the new Predator movie, when he has a throne room, you just have Jar Jar Binks on his head in the fucking trophy room.
So then that means we sympathize with him?
Yep.
Okay. So that's... Did Ryan just fix Star Wars?
I know Jar Jar makes a couple of appearances in the Clone Wars series. I don't really remember too much about it, but I know he pops up a couple of times.
Is he like respectable in it or what? I don't know.
He's the usual Jar Jar.
Okay.
He's up to shenanigans.
Why did I expect any different? Okay. Anyway, I was trying to find a silver lining here in a world that can be filled with negativity, and clearly I was dumb to do that. Anyway, some other casting news. The Powerpuff Girls was a cartoon series. It's now going to be a live action series, and Donald Faison will be playing Professor Utonium, which that sounds pretty cool. In other news, they're making a live action Powerpuff Girls series.
Sure.
Hey, you know who's writing and executive producing this? Diablo Cody. Okay. That sounds fun. I'm not saying that sarcastically. I'm just still pretty shocked that I'm reading this news and finding this out just now. Yeah, look out for that coming soon. And then, Ryan, you need to give us a statement here because it sounds like Sylvester Stallone is writing a Rocky prequel series.
Yeah, everyone's asked me what Rocky did before he was, the champ.
This is the quote. I started out this morning by writing a treatment for a Rocky prequel for streaming, Stallone said via Instagram. He adds that there would be ideally 10 episodes and a few seasons to get to the heart of the characters in their younger years. And one of the quotes is, imagine a time machine that will simply transport us back to the origins of Rocky, a cinematic world brimming with characters that have been beloved by around the world for nearly 5 decades. I can't do a Stallone. Bottom line is, was Creed a joke to him? I don't get this at all.
So this would be a series about all the knees he busted collecting debts.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. If it's a gangster series, I'm interested. But if it's about him like boxing and then we just suddenly never realized he had a secret yearning for boxing, like what? He was a mafia hitman. He whacked not hitman, muscle. He knocked people over to make sure they paid their money to the mob.
Yeah, but I think there's a story to be told there. I mean,
there is, but I just if I see one hint of boxing, he needs to start that first season needs to be him in gangster mode first. Yeah, I don't know. I thought he put these things to bed, but I guess this character is something he still likes tapping into, which is cool, but I don't know. What's Paulie's backstory going to be? Him being an abusive alcoholic?
No, he's the Penguin. Doy.
No, that's Mickey.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Mickey.
Yeah, Paulie's pretty. I would love Paulie as the Penguin, though. He'd be stumbling around so much, Batman could just tip him over. And then some DC news. The New Gods and Aquaman spinoffs, The Trench, have been canceled. So, yeah. The New Gods was going to be directed by Ava DuVernay, and The Trench was stemming off of a sequence from the Aquaman. Those are no longer happening. So, it's kind of sad. Seems like I don't know much about New Gods, but I liked that sequence in of the Trench in Aquaman. So, I kind of wanted to see what they would do with that, and now we'll never know. And then and that's news unless I missed anything.
Yeah, I know the new trailer for Loki was awesome. We saw
Oh,
that.
that's right. We got a trailer for that TV show. Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Makes me excited. I
Yeah.
love the character. Tom Hiddleston's really great as it.
Yeah. It'll be fun to see him play it again. I still haven't watched any of WandaVision or Falcon yet. Anyway, that's news.
Movies on Blu-ray are coming out.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
Okay, Scorpion Releasing has got your back if you want some rollerball in your life. Not the remake, but the original 1975 James Caan film. If you could pick that up on Blu-ray if you'd like. Warner Archives is putting out Thundar the Barbarian. Is this the complete series? Yes, this is the complete series. You can get that on Blu-ray if you'd like. A Chloe Grace Moretz movie called Shadow in the Cloud. Is this the one where she fights a gremlin, Ryan? In World War II?
I have no idea. Sure.
I don't know.
Sounds like it.
I want to check it out. Sounds interesting. Anyway, The Killer Elite with James Caan and Robert Duvall from 1975 is coming your way. You can also get from Kino Lorber, you've got two box sets coming, guys. You've got Western Classics 2. This includes The Redhead from Wyoming, Pillars of the Sky, and Gun for a Coward. And the Carol Lombard Collection 2, which apparently is out of stock, Amazon. And also, thanks for canceling my pre-order, DX.
Thank you, Amazon, for having that delivered to my house by 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Way to suck up to the big man, Ryan.
I have to get up. I'll get a knock on my door. You're like, oh, there she is, Miss Lombard, ready to be watched.
They just hand it to you on a fancy pillow. But in this collection, you can get Hands Across the Table, Love Before Breakfast, and The Princess Comes Across. The good news is, since it's selling well, looks like we'll get a volume 3 at some point. Among new releases, we've got Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar, the Kristen Wiig comedy there. We were thinking about seeing that at one point. Maybe we can give it a shot at some point when we have nothing else to see in a week. Tremors is coming to 4K. I
already have it.
This is the best timeline coming from Arrow.
I already have that one. I don't know if they're just doing like a single disc release of it, but I got the fancy collector's edition.
This looks like a single disc version, Ryan. This looks like it's kind of just.
I do know Arrow does do that. Like if you get they're really fancy versions, if you wait a few months, they'll put out a single disc version of it.
Okay, that's neat.
60% off still right now.
Ooh, oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, my pal Marshall just he texted me a screenshot full of titles where he's just like, I own all these now. I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn it. And then we are getting from Kino Classics, Robert Siodmak's The Man in Search of His Murderer from 1931. Never heard of this before. Sounds interesting. A man in bad sorts hires a burglar to later kill him, then changes his mind when his fortunes turn and must find the contracted murderer before it is too late. Ooh, neat. Race against the clock there. And then that looks like it's everything, unless you want a steelbook of Earwig and the Witch. This looks to be a Studio Ghibli thing, but it doesn't look like it's Hayao Miyazaki. Corinne, you want to field this one?
I think it's his kid.
yeah, and it's also computer generated, and it looks really weird.
Fair enough. The story, it follows an orphan girl, Earwig, who is adopted by a witch and becomes home to a spooky house filled with mystery and magic. You know, I wish I had been adopted by a witch and entered into a house full of spookiness and magic, but it didn't happen. I grew up in Colorado. Anyway, that's Blu-rays.
We watch films and TV shows throughout the week in a segment we call What You've Been Watching, and maybe you should watch.
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Brad?
Let's see. A lot of TV shows. The 2003 Ninja Turtles cartoon. never released their final season on DVD, but fortunately, and I didn't get to watch it on when it was airing on network because I kind of stopped getting network TV around that time that it aired. So now it's on Paramount Plus, and I finally got to watch it, and it's only like 13 episodes, which is about half of a normal season, but it is nice to finally wrap up that series for me. Also on Paramount.
Is this the one, Brad, you're telling me where it has like badass fights and it's kind of violent?
Well, the main show is the final season. They do the same thing they did with the '87 show, where like the last two seasons they revamped like the animation style. It's commonly referred to as the Red Sky edition, because I think like the last year it was about the same time as the Batman animated series starting up. So like it also has a dark red sky, and they give the turtles like an edgier look to them. And then this one, their edgy look, they actually soften so that they actually have pupils now. After I think 6 seasons of them, it's just weird that they would change the animation style like in the last season. But yeah, it's not that thing. But
cool.
Yeah, the previous season was the fast forward season where they get sent like 100 years in the future. And then this season is called Back to the Sewers, where they come back, and a lot of the like tech-based villains also follow them. And yeah, there's like a new version of Shredder that's pretty cool that they end up fighting at the end. I'm surprised no one's made like he'd make a cool action figure if they did it. Yeah, and then I also watched on Paramount Plus a bunch of Nickelodeon early '90s stuff. I think I talked last week about I was watching just regular Double Dare. Did I?
Yeah.
So 3 years ago, I guess now, they rebooted Double Dare again for the second time, and that version is awesome. The only problem is it's already canceled, so there won't be any more. It's frustrating that the set looks awesome, the obstacle courses are great. Mark Summers is back, but he's the announcer. But like he splits time with Liza Koshy, who's the new host. He's not always relegated to Harvey's bit. Yeah, it's just the whole vibe is fun, and they also, it's not just two kids all the time. They kind of like they'll have a celebrity guest competition one for charity, and they'll sometimes do the family version. Yeah, it's just like all the best elements of Double Dare all in a single show, and it's a shame that it's already like it's weird to spend that much. It looks expensive too, and that's probably why. But at the same time, it's like you went through all the trouble of like putting all this together, and you only give it like 2 years. Like one of those years is, COVID, so obviously they're not opening up the studio to have a bunch of audience members involved. But I just hope they continue it at some point, because it feels like Double Dare deserves to be a show that's just always on Nickelodeon.
Seems like a good like mid-afternoon show to watch.
Yeah, I mean I've been watching it. It's just it's kind of the same thing over and over again, but still they changed it up enough that it's fun from episode to episode. Yeah, and then I went back and watched Salute Your Shorts, which was a fun revisit. It's these kids at a Camp Anawana, and it's just about this fictional kid life at a camp. The only problem is on Paramount Plus, it only has half the episodes that exist for some reason. So, and one of the episodes is a 2-parter, but they don't have the second part. So, yeah, and they're out of order. It's a shame to like. It's only 2 seasons. Like, it's not hard to put that many episodes up. So there's no continuity to it now. You're just kind of watching episodes. It's like just put the other 13 up. Like you're done.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fun. It was fun like doing research on like Since they didn't have the episodes to film me, and I had to do research on like why it only had 2 seasons, because it feels like a lot of these shows, as we're growing up, were on forever, but they were only on for one or two. But about the second season of it, the executives at Nickelodeon were like, "Hey, we're gonna stop producing all of our shows the way we do, and then we're going to do them all in Orlando at our studio." And obviously, this camp shows is like, we already did one season in this forest. It's not going to make sense in Orlando. All of a sudden, kind of different vegetation going on. So they were just like, yeah, we're just not going to come back. So that's why that ended. Same with Hey Dude, they can't do.
That wasn't that long. I remember that show growing up a lot.
Yeah, that's 3 seasons. It was only like 89 to 92 or 91.
Huh.
So, and I watched a little bit of that too. Didn't go very far, but that was just about, this guy from the city buys the barn and ranch and tries to turn it into like a tourist attraction, and everyone else is kind of adjusting to it. What else? I also watched You Can't Do That on Television. They also have on Paramount Plus, and that show was on for like 10 years. And it's an export from Canada, so Nickelodeon didn't really make it. But they've again, it's like they've only got 10, 15 episodes from this series that's been on for 10 years. And they're all first season stuff, but I didn't remember it that well. I started watching it towards the end of its run, but I didn't realize like the show they're all themed, and all the skits support that theme. And it's weird because it's edited where you'll see a little bit of a sketch and it'll jump to a different sketch and it'll come back to that other sketch later on. So it's like really, it's like just such a different thing to watch editing wise. Does that make sense? It just messes with your flow of how you watch TV. I can't say it's like hilarious. It very much feels like kids wrote the show. But it is fun to see like that one guy, Les Lie, who's like, there was two adult actors throughout the whole run. But the main one is the guy who played like the executioner guy, and then the Barth, the guy who like runs a terrible burger joint. And it's like those characters and skits over and over again. So it's not like SNL where, they write new stuff for like different scenarios every time. It's like they make all these characters and scenes work for all these different themes. Yeah. So that was cool to watch. And then Falcon and the Winter Soldier we'll probably get to towards the end. And then I watched 2 movies, both Harrison Ford movies. Presumed Innocent was one, where he's a lawyer who is solving the murder of one of his colleagues, who right away they tell you he was having an affair with, which was nice. That it wasn't like this thing that wasn't baked into like a surprise at the end. But it was a cool like mystery up until like 3/4 of the way through, when I kind of figured out who was responsible.
What year is that movie from, Brad? I remember seeing it, but I can't place it.
It's 1990.
Now, who else is in it?
Bonnie Bedelia, John McClane's wife, is in it. Brian Dennehy is like the main
Oh,
DJ.
that's right. Character actor. Brian Dennehy.
Yeah, and you find out that the woman who was killed was kind of having an affair with everybody in the office there. And ultimately, people figure out about the affair, and it leads to Harrison Ford himself being accused of the crime, of the murder. He kind of has to prove otherwise. And then another movie that has a very similar like poster vibe with him in it is Frantic. And that's, sorry, a Polanski movie. I found out. But I have to admit,
Son of a bitch.
I have to admit, it was pretty good, like, for the first half of it. Like, the suspense and mystery generated was pretty good. But completely crashed and burned for me after that, when you finally find out, like, what's going on. Harrison Ford, again, he goes to Paris with his wife for he's a doctor. There's some kind of medical conference, but they're also going to have like a romantic vacation while they're at it. And then they're getting ready to go out, and then she just takes a phone call while he's in the shower, and then he comes out and she's just gone, and he doesn't know why. And so he goes on this journey to figure out, what the heck happened to her. Like, is she, is it just a misunderstanding? Was she kidnapped? Is she cheating on him? Yeah, it generates some like pretty good suspense up until you find out like why she's disappeared, and then it just like he also like in the midst of solving the mystery, I don't know the actress's name, but he like meets this one girl who is in on the problem, and she kind of bounces between like wanting to help him and not helping him. And every time like he gets closer, she kind of like sabotages it. But yeah, by the end is I don't know. I without spoiling it, I can't really. All I can say is like I was like, oh, that's too bad.
Yep. I wonder why it has to be filmed in Paris.
Yeah, and there are parts of it too, like with this other girl, like the girl who's not his wife, is just like I feel like the director just kind of likes having this girl as a character because she's pretty, I don't know.
Yeah. Fuck Polanski.
Yeah, that's all I watched.
Corinne?
All right, four things. How about we just talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier now? Because I actually am caught up on it. And I totally think that Sharon is either the power broker or works for the power broker. Because I think her showing up again in Madripoor was just a little bit too much of a coincidence.
Yeah,
And
she's
also,
badass in it, though, too.
Just overall, I'm not liking the show nearly as much as I liked WandaVision. The first episode was really depressing, and then the second episode was really annoying, and then the third episode was it was fine. So
Wait, what was annoying about the second episode?
Just like all the like how they're trying to do like this banter between Sam and Bucky, and I don't know if they just like don't have the right writers for it, but it just comes across more as annoying than endearing, and I just don't. I'm like I don't care.
It seemed the same to me as when they were fighting in Civil War. So
there you
go. Yeah, like it wasn't my favorite episode so far.
Hello?
Like I hello?
What?
Are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I think she must have got disconnected or something. Anyway, I'll continue. But also I understand like it's the third episode, so after two kind of like rising plot, things, it kind of comes down a bit. We can hear you. What was I going to say?
Nope.
I think
it's the third episode after 2 episodes of Rising.
Yeah, like it felt like a kind of a come down episode. I expected because we're reintroduced to Zemo, and didn't they set up like in the movie in Civil War that he was just an average Sokovian? Like that, I thought that was the cool part that he wasn't like a rich dude that had all this access to stuff. Like he defeated the Avengers by just being like a guy upset with the death of his family, and he scrapped together.
He's a baron.
Did they say he was a baron in Civil War though?
I can't remember.
I didn't think they did.
I do remember hearing that he was like the comic book character is Baron Zemo, so I guess I wasn't surprised when that happened. But like, I guess I kind of agree with Brad of just like, yeah, like whatever. Okay, I guess he was a Baron the whole time. Okay.
Yeah, like I know he was a Baron in the comic, but I'm just saying like I thought it was cool because I didn't I have to watch Civil War again, but I don't think they made that known. So going through, I was just like, oh, that's a cool change that he's like the odds are stacked even more against him. But now that he's like Baron Zemo, it's like, oh, he's super connected and he's Batman. So it feels like less of a challenge for him to defeat the Avengers. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's way more at play here, where I think because this is the halfway point of the series, so I think it's just like I had fun with this episode. I thought it was pretty fun, but
Yeah,
It was the best of the three so far.
It seems like they're kind of setting up. I mean, Zemo is definitely not a good dude, and he's obviously going to turn against him. So.
Also, I agree with Brad that the new Captain America guy is super shady, and I don't like him.
Well, yeah, he is in the comics too. He's not a good dude.
I don't know. I know Brad theorized after the first episode that he was behind the Flag Smashers, that it was a false flag operation to get people to like the new Captain America, and I can get behind that.
Yeah, but I don't think that anymore based on this episode.
Still could be something there.
I think maybe the government is involved, but I think he's earnest. Like he's definitely not like a good Captain America, but I think he and his buddy are like on the same mission, but he's just doing it poorly. You know. But I'm also worried that like again we've set up even more threads, and this is only 4 episodes left. I just don't know how they're going to resolve everything because they also set up like Isaiah Bradley in the last episode. So
I think it was 5 episodes total. Is it 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a lot to drop in only just
but I think each episode is almost an hour, so you still have 3 hours of content. So
it should be interesting to see how they wrap up all this stuff because we're dealing with Flag Smashers. We've got a history of Captain Americas that no one knew about. It's just a lot. What's Baron Zemo up to?
And the Power Broker.
And the Power Broker. Mm-hmm. And people from Wakanda, our guests, are now on the trail of Zemo. It's just a lot of threads.
It was funny. I watched the 3rd episode with Jerry, and he's like, there's a scene in it that you're going to love. And I'm like, okay. So we get like halfway through, and they're just like in the club, and it's that shot of like Zemo dancing. And I'm like, what the hell? And he's like, I knew you would like that scene. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, that's burned into my brain forever. And then, of course, we get to the very end with the Wakandan lady showing up, and he's like, aha, see, I had to throw in a red herring for you because I didn't want to spoil the surprise.
That was a fun edit too. Like they have that party scene, which isn't that like much of a big deal, but I think it cuts to like the shipping containers and they're walking out like, man, we really partied hard last night. It's like, no, you didn't.
I didn't understand that sequence. I was like, what was I figured they were going to a club to like meet somebody to get information, but then it's like, nope.
I know Sharon's just like
club scene.
I got the information, and then it just cuts away. It's just like that just seems like a weird deviation. She could have just known it back at her hideout. Yeah, and there's the Sharon Carter thread. Like apparently she's got more going on than just this episode. So
she's totally the power broker. Bet.
So what else did you watch?
So I watched the latest Studio Ghibli film, Earwig and the Witch. And
I talked about that earlier when you were gone.
Aha.
Tell me what this is.
So it is a 3D animated Studio Ghibli film. It's their first experiment with the medium. And, hey boy, it's not just that the animation is terrible. Like, I'm not kidding you when I say I've seen commercials with better 3D animation than this movie.
Oh no.
I'm pretty sure that the original Toy Story looked better than Earwig and the Witch in terms of the animation. But the voice acting is fine. But oh my gosh, the story is just like all over the place. And it's just like it tries to be this kind of episodic thing, but then it also tries to have this like mystery or something that like this question that keeps coming up. And you're like, okay, so we need some kind of resolution to this. And then right when you think you're going to get it, that's when the movie ends. And it's like, what? Are you kidding me?
Setting it up for Earwig 2 something?
I hope
Boogaloo?
not. Please no. And honestly, like the credits start rolling, and it's just this beautiful, like just like little sketches of the 2D animated sketches of the characters like off doing these cute scenarios of like they're going to have a picnic or they're going on a car ride or whatever. And I'm like, fuck, that's what I just show me like a movie about that. Like the 2 minutes of credits was better than the whole hour and a half of movie that I watched. Oh my gosh, it was such a waste of my time. And it was so sad. It was a slap in the face to Studio Ghibli's legacy and a slap in the face to 3D animators the world over, but especially in the West. It's like, holy shit, like Pixar is putting out Soul and Studio Ghibli oh gosh, don't even get me started on this movie.
If it's their first forte into this territory, though, then you've got to, I'm not saying like give them leniency per se, but just like, understand that this is them dipping their toes into a water that more than likely they're going to have to start treading into more as time goes on. But
God, I hope not.
I would argue that Studio Ghibli is one of the few animation studios that could keep doing 2D films for as long as it wants and never lose revenue because the popularity of them is so vast.
Oh, yeah. And I think there's totally a market for it. I think there's people like us who love 2D animation and miss seeing it, and Studio Ghibli was one of the last holdouts of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's not Hayao Miyazaki, but I think it's his son, Goro Miyazaki, directed it. And Hayao Miyazaki is still working on like his supposed last film, which will be 2D animated. So, let's hope that he stays alive long enough to finish it, but I haven't heard when that's coming out yet. I think it was supposed to come out this year, but it's probably been pushed back because of coronavirus. So do not watch Earwig and the Witch. It is bad. And it's not even like an entertaining bad. It's just like a waste of your time bad. So don't watch it. So then I've also been rewatching the Justice League animated TV show on HBO Max. And oh my gosh, I forgot how much I love the show. Although revisiting it now, there are definitely elements that it's like the female characters are not treated well at all. A lot of suggestive shots and camera pans and weird dialogue. It's like, dang it, why did you have to ruin a great show with this kind of crap? But it only comes up occasionally, so it's not like all over the place, but it's amazing the variety of stories that they get to tell. And it's like, it's perfect because it's an animated TV show. It's like you have a budget, you can do all sorts of stuff because it's animated. You don't have to worry about getting these huge A-listers on to set to do all this crap. You get to tell a variety of stories across 26 episodes or whatever. And like they get to tackle all sorts of things that you will never, ever see in like a Justice League movie by Zack Snyder or anybody else. Because it's like all these obscure villains and sidekicks and things. Like the Shadow Thief. You think there's ever going to be a DC EU movie with a Shadow Thief in it?
Well, there's not going to be a DC EU anymore, Corinne. So.
Well, whatever. A live-action DC movie. Or, I know Vandal Savage has been in the Arrowverse shows, but it's kind of interesting. I just watched the Hereafter episode, which is the one where Superman dies. So you kind of get like some Death of Superman stuff in there. But then you find out he's actually been flung like 30,000 years into the future after Vandal Savage destroyed the world. And so it's fun to, watch Superman, go through this like apocalyptic wasteland and survive evil wolves only to sleep on Vandal Savage's couch and then, go through a time machine back to his regular life. And it also has like a kind of cool Twilight Zone-esque sort of ending. So yeah, the show's kind of perfect. Minus, all the misogyny.
My favorite part about Justice League is the shots they have of the women in it.
Ryan.
I've never seen the show. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Ryan, you would love it. It's on HBO Max. You really should check it out.
Oh.
I'll see if it's on Blu-ray and I'll get it.
There you go.
No, I keep on meaning to. I do love that HBO Max has that hub now. So
I've dipped into JLU a couple of times just because, well, I mean, I've seen JLU already before, but I've just been kind of watching some of the episodes out of order because things that come up in Justice League get brought up again in Justice League Unlimited. And so it's kind of nice to have that continuity. And also to be able to skip around of like, okay, you go from Paradise Lost in season 1 of Justice League to that episode in Justice League Unlimited where Diana and Hawkgirl go back to the underworld and deal with Hades and all this stuff. So it's a great show. The writing is so perfect. They bring up Thanagar in the season 2 premiere, knowing that Thanagarian invasion is going to be the plot line for the finale, and it's so amazing. Oh my gosh, I love this show. Just wish it had a little bit better treatment of its female characters. But yeah, otherwise it's perfect. And then the last thing I've been watching is today, I binge watched all 10 episodes of Ted Lasso.
Nice.
And it's amazing. Oh my, it's so funny with great character development. I learned what relegation is. And Jason Sudeikis is just an absolute hoot in the show. And of course, it's got a bunch of other British people. The guy who plays like the villain of the whole series. It's like, oh yeah, I know I've seen him in some period drama before where he also played a giant dick who was telling everybody to do the things that he wanted to do. And oh man, you just want to strangle that guy. He's such a dick. That part where he goes into her office and he's like, yeah, guess what? I'm having a kid. I didn't want to have one before with you. Oh man, just wanted to slash his throat.
It's very Jan energy right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. But I guess it was almost like perfect. And then the last shot of the season finale was supposed to be this joke, I guess, but it was just awkward. And it's like kind of spit take and, oh, did I get you? And then they cut to the shot of like her face is just like covered in water. It's like, yeah, clearly you did, Ted. Oh my gosh. It's like, what was that supposed to be? And then it ended and I was like, what the hell? Didn't end on a cliffhanger, didn't end on a good joke. You just ended on a really weird, awkward moment.
What was it? I don't remember.
That she gave him like a fizzy water, but he didn't know it was a fizzy water, so he spat it out in her face.
I think it's called back to like the first episode. Yeah.
I know, but still, I didn't think it was funny. I just thought it was weird.
So that means it was really funny.
Nah. They did put out a great like little 2-minute skit for the SAG Awards, which I watched this morning, and I was like, okay, this is cute, before I saw the rest of the show. And then I rewatched it after I had seen all the episodes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is on fire. The timing and the jokes and the just weird things they bring up. You have to see it to understand it. So, Zach, there is an excellent joke about Martin Scorsese movies in there. You got to check it out.
All right.
It's a great contrast show to the toxic times that we live in.
Amen.
Oh,
it's
cool.
kind of the show I needed right now because everything else is bullshit.
Right on. Cool. It's on Apple TV, right?
Yep. And it's getting a second season. I think it's going to come out this summer, right, Brad?
I don't know.
Anyway, should come out sometime in the next year before my Apple TV subscription expires, my free one.
Awesome.
So check out
Very
Ted
cool.
Lasso. It's probably the best show I've seen since The Good Place. So not that long, but The Good Place is kind of a, outlier. Everything else is crap.
I forgot in news to announce like all the Star Trek stuff that was announced today.
What was announced? I didn't see that.
Picard season 2 is coming in 2022. Lower Decks is getting like 2's on the way, but they're also getting their third season.
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek Prodigy, the animated Nickelodeon kids show with Catherine Janeway,
Mm-hmm.
coming out. Discovery season 4 has a trailer. Yeah, and then Picard season 2, Q's involved based on that trailer.
I still need to watch season 1, and I've been holding off because I'm not gonna lie, you and James made me feel like I would be wasting my time, but I was like, no, I'm still gonna do this. Like,
well, yeah, I don't think it's great, but I'm still like in, you know.
Yeah.
Like, plus, now that I know like Mark Bernardin is involved with breaking the story for it, that I hope it'll be much better.
Right on.
So. Oh, one more quick thing I want to mention is that I did watch the series finale for Superstore, and it was pretty great. Got a little emotional there at the end. Great callbacks, and nice to see everybody, sort of land on their feet.
Corinne, my folks watch this show. What the heck's going on with America Ferrera on that show? What happened?
So she left at the end of I think it was season 6 they just finished. I think she left at the end of season 5, beginning to season 6, and then they brought her back for the series finale.
Okay. For sure. I was just curious.
Yeah, I was kind of confused. I'm like, what the hell? Like, it's March. Like, why is this show ending already? Okay, whatever.
I was surprised this show's been on for 6 years, so that...
Me too.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's just one of those kind of shows to have on in the background while you're, eating lunch or doing laundry or whatever.
It has a following, so it's good for it.
And it's a cute show.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting. The premise allowed them to tackle a lot of different issues that came up with like unions and the racial relations and things like that. So they kind of got into some, social justice issues there.
Very cool.
So yeah. Anyway, that's all I've been watching.
Zach?
All right. I had a bit of a fun little weekend going back through some stuff, some new and some rewatches. I rewatched Rear Window and Murder, 2 Hitchcock movies. And I think the more I go back to Rear Window, the more it climbs into that top list of Hitchcock for me. I never not enjoy it. I don't think I would have put it on my list when I was in college, but now, like, just the amount of times I've had to go back to it for various different reasons, it just keeps hooking me in the best possible way. And then rewatching Murder, actually, within the context of looking at early experiments in sound, which is something I'm looking to start doing a little bit more in depth. It's amazing. I'm not like the movie's biggest fan. I think it's a very solid movie, but it's not one I go back to a bunch. But watching Hitchcock work with sound, as like this is like an earlier effort for him, so he's still getting comfortable with the technology. There's a lot of energy to the movie that's almost unexpected, especially within the first 15 to 20 minutes of the movie. That just seems so modern and seems so perfect for kicking off trends you'll see down the line in films. It's a film that I want to do a full episode on, a Shamley supplements at some point, because we never did it in the main series, and I kind of regret not doing that because it's a film that's definitely worthy of the discussion, as well as Blackmail. And I also rewatched North by Northwest because we watched a Cary Grant movie at Film Club, and I was like, I want more Cary Grant. So I rewatched North by Northwest, and that movie's still wonderful. At Film Club, we watched An Affair to Remember and The African Queen. African Queen, I've seen a whole bunch. Affair to Remember, I don't believe I've seen it in a long time. It must have been when I was very young. And seeing it on flashes on AMC or TCM, one of the two. And Ryan, how did Cary Grant not get nominated for that movie?
I mean, he should be nominated for every movie, but
okay. We're talking about An Affair to Remember. We're not talking about the other ones.
Okay.
Because
I don't know. I think towards the end it gets a little too sappy, honestly.
Oh, see, I don't think that.
No.
No, you know what?
He's great in it.
He is great.
So is Deborah Kerr.
Yeah, here's the thing on it, is that there is that moment at the very, very end where he looks and sees that she has the painting. and he reacts like the amount of humanity that is on his face is startling. Like, it's not like I've never not seen it out of him, but just because of the way that movie moves to get to that point, like the film has the right combination of Grant's charm and persona, the right hit of women pursuing him, mixed with the sincere fact that he becomes very vulnerable early on in the film, and he wears that vulnerability on his sleeve for the most part. Like, his guard's not up in the same way it might be in other films. Like, there's something definitely unique about it. And you know, like when he goes back to visit his grandmother and she's dead, like it's God. I cried. Like, I had to shut off my computer and, you know, walk away for a second and then come back into the club. And then African Queen is another great love story, but it's also mixed with John Huston badassery. Just it's you know what, Brian? Only one movie has an incredible love story mixed with the sincere goal of turning a whole boat into a torpedo to take down a Nazi U-boat. That's one of the best plots you could ever pitch in this day and age, and I don't understand how everybody's not watched this movie.
I'm always down for Nazis not making it.
But specifically here, Ryan, Bogart and Kate Hepburn turning a boat into a torpedo, like they're turning it into a bomb. It's a mobile bomb. It's going to take out threats. And also it's one of those films where the ending, the way it plays out, like the more I look at it, the more I'm like, only John Huston could have gotten away with this ending. Like, I don't see any other director pulling it off the same way. Because it is a very touching moment by the very end, but it's also mixed with his panache for action and intensity and that gung-ho attitude that I'm like, this is like unique to him. And this is also a movie where he's directing something very, very moving and very, very sincere, which is not what you would normally associate with John Huston in my mind. Now, there's a lot of films of his that I still haven't seen, but I'm going to have to go through as I do this series. And, you know, I'm hoping that the ones I haven't seen, among them, some of them feel more like The African Queen. Judge Roy Bean has some stuff in that respect too, but I'm hoping I see a little bit more of it as I keep going through some of these films of his. And it was great to see it with the film club. Everybody had a fun time. One of my compatriots in that film club, Kev Moore, has a show about a studio called Amicus Films, which, Ryan, have you ever heard of Amicus? They are a British-ish production company that produced like a minuscule amount of movies that range all across the gamut. And I've been listening to his show, and he's done they were the ones who produced The House That Dripped Blood, is how you might know them. And so I was like, I want to start watching some of these movies because I don't think I've ever seen any of them. And so I started with a movie called From Beyond the Grave from 1974, and it's an anthology film. It's the basic wraparound is that Peter Cushing runs the most haunted antique shop ever. Everybody goes in to buy an item, and that item ends up being cursed. In many ways, like a bunch of the different people who are buying from him are trying to cheat him in some way. And a lot of the overall wraparound, like on the nose message is money is the root of all evil. But the first one starts with a man buying a mirror and cheating Peter Cushing out of its actual value, and putting it up on his wall, and his friends and him hold a seance because it's seance time. And the mirror, through the seance, a man appears through the mirror and tells David Warner, who's playing the young man, to kill people for him to feed him so that he can come out of the mirror. And then once he's done being fed, well, your imagination goes from there. And then there's other stories, one involving a very eccentric master of elementals. But the one story that I loved the most because it was the craziest, take a wild guess, Ryan, as to which one would be my favorite. None other than the segment with Donald Pleasance and his daughter. I had never known, I had never seen this movie. So first of all, Donald Pleasance isn't doing the elegant accent. He's doing very much like it's a very I don't know the difference between accents in Britain per se, but it's a very like it sounds like working class. He plays a man who was a part of the army who's selling matchsticks and shoelaces, and a man who was in the army but at a very menial position. It runs into him and becomes an acquaintance of him after pretending to pass for a major officer who was highly decorated. And Donald Pleasance introduces him to his daughter, and his daughter is played by, again, Donald Pleasance's own daughter, is literally like just a dead-eyed, like vacant expression. And what you learn is that she's on the part of it is she's on the lookout for him to be her husband, and she uses voodoo curses in order to basically change his fate in life. I won't spoil the twist because Ryan, I think you should watch this movie, and I think you might get a kick out of the twist in that particular story. And then also, I think it's just very well thought out and very inventive. Not every story worked for me. I thought the last one with the door, there's a door that's haunted that when you hinge it onto something and you open it, it takes you into this kind of like burial of souls, ran by a man in a very flamboyant costume. It wasn't my favorite. I liked the ending of it and how they resolved it, but I wasn't a fan of the story in general. But most of them work. So I'm kind of I'm going to have some fun with this Amicus Productions company, and the show that my friend runs, Amicus, is here is really good. It's like he's giving you all this information on these like this unknown company to most. And then I picked up The Curse of Frankenstein because I've only seen a few Hammer horror films. The ones I remember are Dracula, Prince of Darkness, The Hound of the Baskervilles, which I didn't realize until this week wasn't a Hammer film. I just knew it was Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee in Hound of the Baskervilles. I had no idea Hammer had anything to do with it. And their version of The Mummy. So I thought, well, I'll start off with the one that Ryan's been talking about so much. So I watched The Curse of Frankenstein with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. Ryan, this is a good movie.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Yeah, not my favorite Frankenstein movie, but I really like that they allow Cushing's portrayal of Dr. Frankenstein to be an asshole. Like, and I'm talking like an above the surface asshole. Like, if anybody's not seen this movie, it's basically the story of Frankenstein, but they add their own little twists to it. And one of them is being that Baron Victor von Frankenstein is a massive tool. And Peter Cushing,
he was
plays
always
him.
a massive tool, Zach.
But Corinne, there's some sympathy in other Frankenstein stories that I've seen, like some traces of sympathy. I feel no sympathy for Peter Cushing's Baron von Frankenstein here.
I mean, Frankenstein starts the whole story creating a thing and then immediately abandoning it. Like the worst father ever. I know. I'm talking about the movies here. In the movies, the angle on Victor Frankenstein is that he suddenly realizes he's meddled in things he shouldn't have meddled in. Peter Cushing doubles down on the meddling. Like they allow him to be that essence of the character. They don't really redeem him, which I appreciate. And it's a Hammer film right off the bat. Plenty of open women with open shirts. Christopher Lee playing a brutal looking monster. Their version of the blind man and the kid comboed into one. Like it looks like it's kind of beautiful to watch. And Ryan, you're right. That restoration looked amazing. That was remarkable. Now, did you watch both matted versions?
Yeah.
Okay, I only watched the 166 one, so I need to watch the 185 one next.
Yeah, I'm kind of weird when I really like a Blu-ray. To make my list, I usually watch them a bunch of times, and if they have different versions of the film, I'll watch them multiple times. So yeah, I've seen Curse of Frankenstein 3 times this year.
Nice. Very cool. That's right. They have the TV version in there too. That's right. God dang. That thing is packed. And the special features on that are fucking incredible, guys. If you are looking to take a look at something really cool that Warner Archives has put out, I mean, they put out a lot of cool stuff, but this is a true treasure in their collection here. I watched Lost Horizon for the first time. And I texted Ryan thinking, like, I thought I saw this movie, but I guess I didn't. So here's the basic pitch of Lost Horizon. It's a Frank Capra movie, and it's a movie that in its current form is under a restoration that features photo reconstruction of scenes that they don't have the film elements for. The story involves a diplomat who helps save a bunch of people from a Chinese revolt. Their plane is hijacked as they're escaping the revolt, and it crash lands in a mountain in the Himalayas where they arrive in Shangri-La, and it's learned through there that they were brought there for a reason. And Shangri-La is this paradise environment where nobody ages, everything's pristine, everything's very zen-like and calm. And the movie is very much a meditation on living in a perfect world versus the world where everything is at fault. And it's funny, Ryan, because it's weird. It's weird to watch it unless you understand that this is Capra in 1937. This isn't even Capra during the war. So like it has a very different outlook on the state of the world at that point compared to where it would probably be, I want to say like 2-3 years down the line for him. It has Ronald Colman in it, who Ronald Colman, for me, primarily, apart from The Tale of Two Cities, is Jack Benny's next door neighbor on radio. Watching him in here, like I'm transfixed by him, and I want to watch some more of his stuff. Obviously, like the only other thing that I really connected with him on is he did a radio show with his wife Benita Hume called The Halls of Ivy, of which I've listened to some episodes, and he has a lot of talent. But like watching him perform in this particular film is quite remarkable. So yeah, if you're looking for an interesting, albeit very long movie, that's the thing. It does drag a little bit, but I still recommend people check it out. It is very, very beautiful looking. This restoration is pretty damn incredible. Like the stuff that was already existing, they clearly cleaned the shit out of. Because it has plane sequences that are not as good as Only Angels Have Wings, but they are pretty damn good to watch, Ryan. And then the last thing I watched is something that Ryan and I have bandied about back and forth on the show itself for the past, I want to say, a couple months since it was announced. I watched Terror in the Aisle. So, Ryan, you haven't watched it yet, have you? Or did you even get it?
No, I didn't get it, no.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that because the last time I made a blind recommendation to you, you did it and you weren't completely satisfied. If this goes on sale, get it. But I got to tell you, this is probably one of the coolest things I've ever picked up from Scream Factory because I had no idea this thing existed. It's a compilation movie / documentary. It's basically That's Entertainment for horror movies. So like That's Entertainment was this way that MGM was able to capitalize on its library of footage by showing a lot of dance sequences and musical numbers, and they did like several volumes of this. The Terror in the Aisles is basically supposed to be that, and the guy who directed it was basically looking to do compilation films that saluted movies like this. So he started with horror. He was going to do one about dance films next, and it has no plot. First of all, let's get it off the way. It has no plot. It goes through the tropes of horror movies using the different clips that they were able to license for a flat fee of $4,000. And this was all going into Universal's, into a Universal movie. When the other studios found out that this movie was making a pretty good chunk of money, and all the money was going only to Universal, and they weren't getting paid any royalties on their clips, they suddenly shut down the practice of these flat licensing fees. And so he wasn't able to do this dance film next. But the wraparound segments all take place in a movie theater, and it's basically selling you on the concept of horror movies. One of the participants is Nancy Allen. She has some actually very sincere moments about how women are treated in horror movies, and it's actually kind of like ahead of its time. But then the other person who's in these wraparounds is Donald Pleasance, and of course they give him the craziest things to do. And the only thing I have to equivocate it with is when I watch Patrick Stewart in the MGM documentary, where it's just like, you don't not belong here, but why are they asking you to do these things? It works more here for Donald Pleasance because he's playing off of his horror icon persona. But there's just, if you watch something out of context, it can be funny. And one of these things is like a couple watching a horror movie and then Donald Pleasance popping his head up going like, shocking, wasn't it? Like it's just kind of goofy to watch him do these things. But then there's other moments where like it hits the right emotion that it's supposed to for what this doc wants me to feel. Like he's just going like at one point he's just like, at some point we all have to go home, and then he leaves an empty theater. I'm like, oh, that's kind of chilling. But yeah, no. So it's I think it's a movie that you watch out of curiosity. And what's more, I'm amazed that this Blu-ray is filled to the brim with special features. There's interviews with Nancy Allen. There's an interview with the editor of this film. There's an interview with the composer. All these, because they had to change some of the music, Ryan. Like they had the music embedded in the clips, but they were trying to write music around it to transition the clips. And all of them are done through Skype because this was still being produced during the mid of the pandemic. And there's a commentary that I still haven't gotten to, and I'm dying to dive into it because it's one that I can literally listen to and not have to pay attention to parts of the movie, because I'm just like, tell me the story of how this got made. So yeah, if you are curious about it, it's not worth your money. But if you are not in the mood to watch this kind of experiment, then I would wait until it's available elsewhere. But apparently this is a very popular item, Ryan, in horror fandom that I wasn't aware of. Like, it might have been for people who of the earlier VHS era who had, like got a copy of this and saw these clips and then go and check out these movies. But so, yeah, that's all I watched this week.
No, so it's one I've always wanted to watch. There used to be these, I forget what they were. Paramount did a version of it, but it was like Scream Greats, I think is what they were called.
Really?
And like one was it'd be like Tom Savini, and then one would be vampires, werewolves. They used to be before my Friday the 13th VHSs I had.
Ooh, that seems cool.
I'll
loan this to you, Ryan. I'm going to loan this to you. You need to watch it.
Cool. I didn't watch too much this week. I showed my kid The Rocketeer because we do have Film Explosion 1991 coming pretty soon. And this film was released in 1991. It's a fun little movie. What makes it really fun is I like the aesthetic. I like the idea of a superhero from that time period, kind of Art Deco superhero, and it's just a cool character design. The Rocketeer is just a cute movie.
It's the best 40s pulp movie in the 90s.
Yeah.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, Joe Johnston would go on to, direct Captain America, and he seems like a natural fit after you watch The Rocketeer again.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just a fun movie. It's about a dude who is a stunt pilot, finds this rocket that he straps to himself and becomes a hero. Yep, that's about it. But it's pretty fun.
I've never seen it, Ryan. Would I like it?
Oh yeah, it's a great movie. Like it's a PG superhero movie, and it kind of has a Dick Tracy vibe to it. Like one of the bad guys looks like he could be in Dick Tracy.
I've never seen Dick Tracy, so I don't know what that means.
He's really exaggerated in his appearance.
So it's campy.
Yeah. But Timothy Dalton is the main villain in it, and he kind of plays an Errol Flynn type of character.
Is it as
So
campy as The Shadow?
It's more heartfelt than The Shadow.
It's got more sincerity than The Shadow.
Yeah, suck it, Zach.
I'm not unaware of the movie that I love being a misfire. So
If you it has more heart than the Shadow, and there's more sincerity to it, and it's not it's not stupid like The Shadow. It's a good movie. It should be on Disney Plus. I don't know. I have the Blu-ray. I didn't look for it on Disney Plus.
I'll check.
I watched the original Mortal Kombat from 1995, and it has a really great pace to it. Of course, the soundtrack is really kind of legendary in that movie. The dialogue,
The Rocketeer is on Disney Plus.
Cool, check it out. It's as I'm watching it again. I mean, the movie's still pretty fun, but it goes through a lot of fan service where Shang Tsung is always saying stuff, fatality, flawless victory. When the dude gets punched, that's not a flawless victory, Shang Tsung. Come on. But it's a fun movie, and the only thing that it hurts is it's one of those movies that was a mid-budget 1990s movie, and they relied on CGI for some of the stuff, and it just looks bad. Mm-hmm. And Christopher Lambert as Raiden really seems miscast, but it's there. It's fun. The steelbook from Best Buy is really cool. All they did was take the discs that already exist on Blu-ray and put them in a steelbook. So if you don't want to spend the $12.99 on the steelbook, you don't have to if you already own the Blu-rays. It's fun, and I'm debating if I'm going to watch the second one because that one's one of the worst movies ever. But we'll see.
Tried to watch it, and I don't remember anything. It was so the first 5 minutes were just so bad.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that, because as a fan of Mortal Kombat and or a fan of Resident Evil or whatever, I kind of have a soft spot for those things. You can never really turn your back on stuff you love, but that one doesn't have very many redeeming qualities. And I don't know, the last time I saw it, it's probably been 10, 15 years. I've never seen it on Blu-ray, so I don't know. That I couldn't tell you if it looks great on Blu-ray.
Right out of the gate, it's so CGI heavy, and it's CGI from that era, so it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I do remember that. I remember Johnny Cage dies in the first 5 minutes. It's just, it's not good.
At least in the first one, Goro was animatronic, so
yeah,
something there.
Yeah, he looks kind of silly in it, but at the same time, you really appreciate the artistry that they had to do to bring him to life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I was watching an interview with Paul W. Sanderson, the director, and I remember him saying that Goro cost $10 million or something. But yeah, I do. In the first movie, I do love the scene with him and Kano, and some things have stuck. Kano was never Australian until the movies, or to the first movie, and now he's Australian, and it's canon that he's Australian. So I'm excited for the new one, because the new one takes a little more seriously, and I think focusing on because the animated movie did too, is on Sub-Zero and Scorpion's kind of rivalry is the most compelling story of Mortal Kombat. So hopefully the new one will do it justice. And the last thing I watched was a Carol Lombard movie from 1931, co-starring William Powell, called Man of the World.
Yes.
It's really interesting. I was watching it and I was like, man, this movie's really just scrunched on my screen. And then I went back and this is how much, when you're a movie nerd, I went back to the IMDb page to see, what framing of the film it was, and it's a pre-code film, and before there was a standard of the 1.33, this film was shot in 1.20. So I go, oh, this is really like truncated, because I never really noticed it before, but very much so.
I'm not an expert on it, but there's a thing on one of the criterions that I own for Chaplin where they discuss the aspect ratios. I didn't pay a bunch of attention to it, but
so I went and I researched it. The 133 became the Motion Picture Association standard for film. I forget the year, but this was before, because it's obviously pre-code.
Mm-hmm.
And in it, William Powell plays a novelist who is now working for like a newspaper, and he's trying to blackmail this guy named Harry, who is the uncle of Carol Lombard. And when he's trying to blackmail him, he obviously falls in love with Carol Lombard. And is he going to, basically the rest of the movie, is he going to go through with his blackmail scheme, or is he going to, win out with Carol Lombard?
Yeah, it's one of the ones in that collection I still got to watch. Yeah,
it's okay. It's not one of her best movies. A lot like Fast and Loose, which is the other one I've watched in the collection, where the thing that's great about Carol Lombard is you can tell she's a great actress. And even in the early stuff, you can tell she was going to be a star, because she just commands the screen. And she's really, what I do like about these ones is they're more of kind of dramas than they're not comedies, but she's still really great in them. And she's a pretty great actress.
Yeah, she didn't find the comedy niche until a little bit later. And
yeah, I mean, almost, her last couple movies are comedies, and then, she tragically died. But
yeah, this is actually also just before she marries William Powell.
Yep,
they're married together for 2 years.
Yeah, this is the film they met on. So
yep,
and he's great in it. He's one of those actors too who's really great in things.
Yeah. Oh God, are you picking up the Thin Man series as that comes out on Blu-ray, Ryan?
No.
Oh God. Maybe I should just loan you the DVD set. They still look good, but the Thin Man series will make you fall in love with William Powell, man. Like, if you ever wanted to watch the most positive drunk in the world, it's Nick Charles, man. He's not. He is pre-code. He is irresponsible, but he solves the mystery with the help of his wife and his dog, and it is always charming. Always. Even if the movies are bad, always charming. But yeah, I got to check this one out now.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, if you pick up the Carol Lombard Volume 1, I think it's still like $26 on Amazon.
I've got that one. I'm waiting for Volume 2.
I mean, in general. So I mean, you're only paying $7 a movie, so or $9 a movie. I mean, it's well worth it. If you like early stuff, I mean, if you don't like pre-code stuff, I wouldn't get it. But
if you don't like pre-code stuff, you won't watch Night Nurse, and that means I don't like you.
Yeah. And that's what I watched this week. This week on Real Nerds, some of us stomped into theaters to see Godzilla versus Kong. Corinne, should people watch Godzilla versus Kong?
Well, I gotta say, I was not one of those people who stomped into a theater. I just watched this at home on HBO Max. And you know what? I would not be opposed to watching it again in a theater, because there were some parts of the movie that I was like, damn, I really wish I could have seen this on the big screen. Overall, it's pretty entertaining, but there is the A storyline is awesome. And it has like a lot of good tension-filled moments, and it's well-paced. And I was like, okay, yeah, I want to see what happens with this. But then they keep cutting away to the B storyline. And I'm like, these people are so annoying, and they're trying to be funny, and it's not funny at all. And it's just frustrating and irritating. So, and then they get to the big fight, and it's hard to root for the fight when they're just killing millions of people. So, And also, I gotta say, I have not seen the Godzilla and the King Kong movie in this universe. I have seen Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and this. So I was kind of Team Kong going into the movie, especially once you kind of get more information. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't surprised with the outcome. I'll say that. It's fine. It's people, it's probably worth seeing in the theater if they feel safe.
Brad, should people see Godzilla versus Kong?
Yeah, I guess. I think I made myself clear on my my meme that I made. Yeah, so I saw it in the theater, and admittedly, I think right after Brian Tyree Henry's character like infiltrates Apex and Godzilla destroys it, I fell asleep. And then I woke up when Millie Bobby Brown and the kid from Deadpool 2 show up in the van, and I was like, oh, I fell asleep for like a minute. It's fine. I didn't miss anything. The benefit of having this on HBO Max is I was able to revisit the movie at the end. I was like, man, I missed a lot of crucial information in this movie, and in what was actually like more like 10 minutes. So
I still think it's funny you fall asleep in movie theaters.
well, I'd also been like up late the night before on that one, but yeah. So, but yeah, in rewatching it at home, like the first kaiju battle isn't until 45 minutes into the movie, and like that was the most frustrating part. Is there's only like it seems like there's 3 monster battles, but there's really only 2 because 2 of them are just the last was just broken up briefly, but it's in the same battle. So like, and that's why I go to these is to watch those things happen, which means there's like another hour and a half of just these side characters that I don't have a ton of investment in. So, Kong's journey is probably the best part about it, but the rest of it really is very similar to Batman versus Superman. Like there's even like a Lex Luthor guy pitting them against each other, and a Doomsday at the end. So yeah, it's all right. It's if you're going to watch monsters fight, the final battle is great. You'll like that's worth it alone. But everything else, I'm just like, I'll probably skip over and over again.
I really like it when Wonder Woman showed up and helped Godzilla and Kong fight Doomsday. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Zach?
Yeah, you should. I had a lot of fun. I was curious going in if it would be as long as the other entries in the series, to whatever degree or another. And it feels it's compact, it's concise. For the most part, it gets straight to the point. The human stories again are the weaker elements of this, but I'm kind of in Corinne's camp with the A story being the stronger element in the film. And there are things about it that I kind of just appreciated how honest honest with itself it was. And I do think that the final battle sequences are pretty fucking fun to watch. They're not like the most masterful thing I've ever seen, but they're pretty damn fun to watch. So yeah, I would definitely go check it out. I saw this on HBO Max. I'm going to go to the theater at some point to watch this on a biggest screen as possible. Because it's also really, we should say it's a pretty short film. So it's not like you're wasting an entire like 3-hour afternoon or whatever. So you can go in and have a good time for a good 2 hour and you walk out having fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I did see it in a theater, and what was really cool is I took Kellen on a Wednesday night, and he had school the next day. But it was fun. One of the fun things was when we were at the theater was packed. The whole theater was packed, not just mine. It's kind of cool seeing people see movies like that again. And it's even more fun when you're in the theater and when they're fighting and everything shakes because it's so loud and the destruction is so intense. So yeah, I think you should see it. I had a lot of fun with the movie. I think the special effects are incredible in it. And yeah, here's the trailer for Godzilla versus Kong.
This is our only chance. We have to take it. We need Kong. The world needs him to stop what's coming. And this child, she's the only one he'll communicate with.
I knew that they had a bond. She had nowhere to go, so I made a promise to protect her. And I think that in some way, Kong did the same. It's Godzilla.
These are dangerous times.
Godzilla's out there and he's hurting people and we don't know why.
There's something provoking him that we're not seeing here.
I'm of the same opinion.
The myths are real. There was a war. And they're the last ones standing.
I keep reaching for greatness because I'm built from it.
Who bows to who?
Nobody gonna stop me. Here we go.
Kong bows to no one.
Here we go.
In Godzilla versus Kong, Godzilla attacks someplace in Florida, and people think it's unprovoked. So they need someone to stop Godzilla from attacking things. So they bring Kong from Skull Island, and then they fight. Yep.
That's not exactly how it works. They're using Kong to try to find the hidden world or the empty world or some shit. Because they need some mumbo jumbo for the... Well, we find out that it's actually for Mega Godzilla or whatever.
I have a question. What happened to Charles Dance from the end of the other movie? Like, wasn't that like a whole organization? Or is that just Apex?
He was eaten.
Yeah, maybe he sold it to Apex because he did have he did find the King Ghidorah head at the end of the last movie. I think that was the post-credit scene.
Yeah, and then they turned it into the Apex thing. So I'm like,
yeah. And by the way, that's exactly how the movie starts, Corinne. And it isn't until later in the movie that you find out that they're digging for other stuff. I was building up to it, like the movie unfolds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought, like, basically the synopsis that you had, Ryan, of, basically they were going to use Kong to challenge Godzilla as, like, the alpha titan or whatever bullshit. But no, they use Kong for, like, this whole other thing to go to the Hollow Earth.
They need a guide.
Yeah, they need a guide.
I was honestly kind of surprised. I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't you try to have Kong fight Godzilla, since he's the only one who hasn't submitted to him as the alpha.
As we learned from that first fight, King Kong is not strong enough to take on Godzilla alone.
Well, I think part of that was the environment. Like, he just, he can't fight in the water like Godzilla can, so if they were on land, it would be more even. But there wasn't a lot of land. He was fighting on top of the aircraft carriers, and it kept breaking.
But what did we see in that second fight, Corinne? We saw that even on land, Godzilla was kicking the shit out of him.
Kong he got some pretty good hits in. Admittedly, he needed his axe, though.
He needs his axe, but also, even with the good punches he blows, he still gets Godzilla gets his foot right on Kong's chest. So, the
opening. I thought it was really cool. The opening too with the little girl who's in it is really good.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But where you find out Skull Island is no longer, and that Kong is kind of in a Truman show. Like
He's in
world.
it like holographic containment.
Is
So-
that how Skull Island ended? Like they got him off the island? I don't remember it very well.
No, Skull Island ended with them like, oh, there's more monsters, because Skull Island took place, I think,
in the
right
70s?
after
The
Vietnam.
70s, yeah. They just confirmed the existence of Kong. So at some point, they went to the island, picked him up, and started the Kong research team. That was
another thing that confused me. I was like, how much sedative do they have for this guy? Like, or how do they never really...
The T-Rex amount from, Jurassic Park to San Diego.
Yeah, I was constantly wondering, like, how do they sedate him? How is, like, a couple helicopters, like, how do they roll him onto that net? Like, I just don't...
See,
they show him the 70s remake of King Kong and puts him to sleep.
Just shut your brain off, Brad.
I was just going to say that too, Corinne. In those movies, you really can't, peel the layers back. Just know that they're fighting on top of ships and breaking stuff.
How fast are these Apex ships? Because they get to the center of the Earth like really fast.
They explain in that heavy exposition scene that they are super cool and super impressive, and that's all I needed to know.
Yeah,
like,
and they're
cool.
Powered with enough energy to power Las Vegas for a week.
Yes, exactly. Which proves to be the only thing that can revive Mr. Kong after his fatal blows in the city, courtesy of Mr. Godzilla.
Also, how are people still like having normal lives in this city? Like, we've had several, especially the last movie, destructive kaiju events, like, and it just seems like people are still going about their daily lives.
Yeah,
like,
they have Titan shelters.
Yeah, you didn't see the Titan shelters, like tornado shelters?
And they said it's been 3 years since Godzilla last was seen. So, yeah, I mean, it's been relatively quiet.
He's been leaving them in peace. And then all of a sudden, Damian Bashir's business guy is trying to muscle in on Godzilla's territory, and he's just like, well, no, fuck that shit. And that's why he has to go out and do his business. Actually, am I wrong in assuming this basically really is a Kong movie? It's got Godzilla in it.
Yeah, Kong gets way more screen time.
Yeah.
Well, I think Kong is the more sympathetic character anyways. I mean, he's just set up that way. I mean, whether you go from the 33 King Kong to now, it's just who he is,
He has more. He has more for the audience to latch onto. Whereas Godzilla's a rogue agent. He doesn't care. He may be your ally and he may be your enemy, depending on what mood he is in the day. It just it all depends on what Godzilla wants to do, because he is Godzilla.
It sucks they didn't give him a family at the end. Like, I totally expected, now that he's found like the Hollow Earth, that there'd be others like him there, but
like a Son of Kong or a Mighty Joe Young.
But now he's still alone. It kind of sucks.
I think he becomes like king. That's where he gets the King Kong, because he sits on the throne and stuff.
He's got the axe, and you just hear that swelling music, and you're like, King Kong.
Also, why does Godzilla attack him in the ocean at all? Like, because they set up that Godzilla's like can sense that there's other kaiju threats, so he's like out to like remain the king. But like, King Kong has been like on Skull Island since the 70s, and he never bothered to like go over there. So he waits till Kong is sedated and not a threat at all in the ocean to pick on him. Like,
you know what, Godzilla. The first one established that Godzilla was awakened.
Yeah,
in the current era,
because of other emerging
Kong
kaijus
is on Skull Island, and Godzilla doesn't have to worry about him.
Yeah, so also, maybe by the time that Godzilla came out of hibernation or whatever, Kong was already in like that containment unit. I don't know.
I go back to Andy Daly's quote when he did L. Ron Hubbard on Dead Authors podcast. Everybody went into hiding in the 7 days. So my assumption is Godzilla was just chilling out at his pad, and then all of a sudden the scientists in the 2014 one woke him up, and he was like, "Holy shit, that fucking noise!" And he gets up there, and that's when he starts tearing shit apart. It's been a while since I've seen the 2014 one and Kong of Skull Island and King of the Monsters, but like, I've had fun with these movies, and this one was just a nice like little capper to it. Like they could end it right here, and I'd be totally satisfied. I know that they're not.
You know, the second fight that takes place in the neon lights, I mean, I thought was incredible, and I love how Kong was using the buildings to kind of swing across and jump, and it's just lots of fun. And that scene that Brad referenced, made a meme out of in the theater when they're roaring at each other. It was intense. Like it literally shook the theater, and the sound design was incredible. And I remember Kellen and I left, and we were walking past another theater that was showing it. It was at that part, and you could hear it as clear as day out in the lobby too. So to me, it was just really fun to see an event movie like that again and in a theater, and the movie was fun. Like, I mean, the story with the humans is stupid.
Especially the B storyline with Millie Bobby Brown's character and the other two idiots.
Yeah, like the harnessing of this energy from Hollow Earth, how they knew this energy was there, I don't know.
Also, how the hell did they build some like maglev thing from Pensacola, Florida, all the way to Hong Kong, and like billions of people don't know about it?
Well, Corinne, we have to
because they're evil corporations, doy.
But we also have to establish, Corinne, that this movie takes place in the world where every conspiracy theory ever exists, even to the point of the Hollow Earth or whatever. I don't know. There's Brian Tyree Henry's podcast gags got chuckles out of me, but they weren't really sincere chuckles. They were just like, really? We're making jokes about podcasting again? Okay, cool. Right on. It's an interesting gateway for Millie Bobby Brown's character. I like that Julia Dennison kid. He's in Hunt for the Wilder People, Taika Waititi's movie, which is wonderful, and he's great in it.
He's from Deadpool too, right?
Yeah, he plays the kid in Deadpool too, but you need to watch Hunt for the Wilder People because that's his breakout, and he's amazing in it.
I think that's on HBO Max as well.
Yep. So check it out. But yeah, anyway, the bottom line, like that B story, I think it's not great, but it does kind of it gives enough like B movie cheesiness to everything to just kind of have fun and sit back with. Damian Bashir's bad guy character, like I like that he's like sparingly used and he's only used exactly when it's necessary, and then they kill him off like as quick as they can. When I saw Mega Godzilla pop up, that's when I remembered, oh yeah, the first two Godzilla movies found a way to pop up other Godzilla villains in here, so this naturally would happen. I was kind of actually taken aback. I'm like, oh, okay. But then I got excited because I was like, oh, I know how the movie's going to end now. So I can just sit back and enjoy the fight.
I love that Kong performed like 2 or 3 fatalities in the movie, ripping heads off. And
oh, yeah. Did you? Oh, God. I don't think I've ever seen this.
Drinking that one monster's blood.
Yep.
I don't remember this in the other Godzilla movies, Ryan, but does Godzilla ever smile? Because he gives an evil smile in this movie. It's fucking cool.
He totally does. Remember in the 70s one where he takes Jessica Lange's top off, he smiles and it's really weird.
No, not Kong, Godzilla.
Oh, Godzilla. Oh,
yeah, no, not Kong. No, yeah. Kong smiles in the 33 version. He always smiles. No, Godzilla though, so. he gives that devilish grin, going like, "I got you now."
Yeah, I don't know.
I
don't think so. I don't think so. This movie definitely shows Godzilla more than most movies show Godzilla, even though he's not really, the A monster. He's still in it quite a bit.
And yet he gets top billing? I don't know about that, guys. It sounds like there were some contract disputes behind the scenes, Kong and Godzilla hashing it out,
Well, my guess is because King Kong is owned by Warner Brothers, and Godzilla is still owned by his company in Japan.
Oh, Toho, yeah.
Yeah, so Toho. So I'm sure they had to work something out, and I'm sure there's probably rules that Godzilla couldn't do and could do.
Well, and I haven't read the article, but I saw a headline about like there was a rule that Toho had that Wingard convinced them to break. I don't know what it was, but it does make me want to go through the all of the Toho films now and kind of go on this journey, because I rewatched Gojira not too long ago for Ballyhoo, and I got back invested into the idea of the whole thing, and I've enjoyed this whole series because it's just a lot of fun. But that neon fight, Ryan, also what I like about it is that it helps distinguish them stylistically. It's not just two massive blobs fighting each other like it is in a Transformers movie. Obviously Kong and Godzilla look different, but those lights kind of help that scene a little bit, especially when they're facing each other and they do the growls in each other's faces. Like you see the green and red slashes on their face. Like it's fucking dope, man.
Like I said, I think the special effects in this movie are incredible.
Yeah.
They didn't shy away from close-ups and showing the emotions of the monsters, and the destruction had weight to it. I thought it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and as far as the human stories, I've kind of realized, like, with all of these reboot ones, and then rewatching Godzilla from the 50s, nothing's ever going to top that one film when it comes to that allegory. And this is coming from somebody who's not seen the subsequent sequels, but the whole idea of that allegory that the first Godzilla possesses, I don't think you're ever going to hit the enormity of that anymore. So when we do complain about the human stories, it's almost like we're complaining about something that we're not going to be able to change anyway, because it's almost like you need these things. Otherwise you're watching, like you're just watching a monster fight and something has to ground it. The little girl with Kong is the grounding point that actually works for this movie. Like, it's actually, that storyline is really fun to watch unfold. So I kind of wish
Which is why it was frustrating when they kept cutting away to the B storyline. I'm like, what the hell?
I know, but you need to satisfy Godzilla fans as much as Kong fans. This movie has to. Everybody's got to have their moment in the sun, Corinne. But I mean, I agree. It is annoying when you cut back to it, and I like all the actors involved in that B story. It just sucks that the material they're given is not up to that level. Like Brian Tyree Henry is a wonderful actor. I wish they had given him something better to chomp on. But I think it's Wingard who directed You're Next, and he shows all the energy that he possesses in those early films of his, like, shine through here. Like,
yeah, I also think too that they probably cut a lot of story out of it.
Did you notice this movie is short for a blockbuster? An hour and 45 minutes with 10 minutes of credits, guys. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And the last fight takes up, I'd say, at least a good 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
It knows what it is. It is not trying to be anything other than what it is, which is two monsters fighting. Because also, like, both Kong and Godzilla have their own separate mythologies. So combining them together, seemingly even from the Toho perspective for this particular Americanized remake, it sounds like you're not going to satisfy everybody, so let's get to the point.
Haven't there been other Godzilla versus Kong movies though?
Yeah, there have in the earlier Godzilla Toho run. They're ones I haven't seen, so I can't comment.
Oh, they're really horrible. But if you want to laugh, you should watch them. I mean, they're pretty bad.
If I need to laugh, I'll just watch Ted Lasso again. So good. Everybody should check it out.
Cool. Anything you want to add, Brad?
No, I covered it, I think.
Cool.
I was going to mention about, like, Kong's family. I mean, we only got to see, like, part of the Hollow Earth, I thought. So I guess it is possible that he has family members running around in other parts of the Hollow Earth we didn't get to see.
There might be, but
that's when we get Kong to the Incredible Journey.
I mean, if they continue with the franchise, they could definitely write it in if they really wanted to.
Yeah, just the ending, it just shows him swinging around, and you think he'd have, like, an urgency to go find other people, but the way they ended it just seemed like they're like, nope, he's alone. So,
well, at least he found where he belongs. He found home.
I'm sure it saved a bunch of money by not rendering a bunch of other apes, so there's that.
I can't have a family. Don't have enough money.
The studio didn't have enough money to give me a family.
next week, I don't know, Voyagers. I don't know what we're gonna see. Or if you guys can think of something that's streaming, just let me know.
Okay.
Until then, thanks for listening. Bye.
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 Yeah, we got to fill 2 weeks now because now that Mortal
That's
Kombat's...
not the word bye.
Oh my God, it's been 10 years. Get over it.
You can start saying aloha, Brad, because that's technically hello or goodbye. So maybe you're telling people hello.
No, I wouldn't do that.
That sounds really out of character for Brad.
Yeah.
How about where we're going, we don't need roads, or something that Brad likes.
I don't need to say anything.
Live long and prosper.
I think the show's as fine as it is without me doing anything.
I think if we ever get Carol on the show, we should also make Brad say goodbye one day.
Well, that's the series finale, Corinne.
There you go.
I will say bye on the last episode. How's that?
Okay.
All right.
When we're all dead.
No, Brad and I will still be alive.
No, this show's a Highlander scenario. There can only be one. It's eventually we will kill each other.
Sweet.
Ryan, I can't. Ryan's gonna kill me first. Shit.
Yeah, he's the one with a gun. So.
Well, no, I'd hope he'd be honorable enough to kill me like a man with his hands, but.
That sounds too hard.
Fine, whatever, lazy ass.
Yeah, gosh, I don't know what we're gonna do for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What is playing?
Like that, The Voyagers is that new movie that's coming. That's the only new movie coming out in the next 2 weeks.
There's got to be something on streaming that's coming out.
Well, we still haven't done Raya.
Yeah,
Disney.
we could watch something that's already out that we haven't taken care of. I guess there's also the Oscar shorts are playing in theaters.
Yeah, we'll figure it out like we always do.
Let's just review The Big Lebowski because it's playing at Sloan's Lake.
Or we did Scott Pilgrim during the Nerdemic, so that's
we
out.
We could do Beauty and the Beast, you guys. We did Princess Bride last year.
It's not the one I want to watch, Corinne.
You can watch them both. I don't care.
Okay, I guess I could do that. I like the animated one.
Could do a doubleheader. Jeez.
Yep. Yeah, we could do that. We could review The Great Mouse Detective and debate its legacy.
One of the most underrated Disney films ever.
It is. And unfortunately, not everybody's going to feel that way, Corinne. I'm sorry.
I feel like we're back in theaters. We need to celebrate things that are in theaters as much as possible.
I agree.
So
There's not a lot in theaters. That's the problem.
Well, there's that. There is the horror film that Sam Raimi produced. I know it's not getting great reviews, but it might be fun to talk about.
So, we can do The Unholy and Voyager. We have 2 movies we can definitely do.
Yeah. For sure.
Okay.
All right.
Until next week.
Won't be able to make it, but y'all have fun.
Boys and lady. Have a nice night.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Real Nerds Podcast. Real Nerds Podcast is a production of Nebulous Visions Multimedia. Thank you to Sparks Mandrill and Plan 9 Studios for our kick-ass theme song. Also, if you're in the Denver area and you're looking for a cool place to see movies, we see them at the Alamo Drafthouse in Littleton and now also in Sloan's Lake. Thank you to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics for supplying us with all our comic needs, especially you, Andrew. You know who you are. And a big shout out to James's mom. I'm giving you an electronic hug that you can feel through the airwaves. Thanks for listening, and have a nice day.